Welcome back to the Giant Hot Takes podcast, your home for the hottest takes about the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, Jack. Got a not so fun episode today after the Giants are off to a bad start to this road trip. Before we get going, please make sure to subscribe to this video wherever you're watching, preferably YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at sfg.hot.takes and on X at Giant Hot Takes. We're growing very fast now, so it's been fun to see. Appreciate all you guys that have been here since the beginning. It does mean a lot to me, especially. In terms of this episode today, we're going to go break down the 3 Washington games, break down the 3 disaster games in Detroit, and then go into some fan takes and reactions, as this is an off day, so it will be the first ever, or not the first ever, the first of the season overreaction off day. So from now on, now that we actually have a baseline of data to overreact to, every off day you'll catch me here. Hopefully it becomes routine for all of us, just fire in our overreactions, kind of get it from the Pat McAfee show. He does like the I don't want to overreact, but on Mondays during the NFL season. So that's kind of what I want this to turn into. So coming off a weird homestand where the Giants lost a series to the Diamondbacks, swept the A's, and then lost a series to the Royals to weirdly go 5-4. The offense kind of sputtered out in those games, and man, it's been a disaster on this road trip too. Going into Game 1, Nationals were coming in hot. Believe they had won 4 or 5 games. Game 1 facing a young left-handed pitcher in Mackenzie Gore. This guy's going to be really good. He already is really good. He goes 6 innings, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts, and actually has to leave with an injury. So I think that run was inherited. So a very good outing from Gore. Just nothing to work with offensively. They got 7 hits. Lee had 2 hits and a walk. Looked awesome. Ramos had 1 hit. Ramos just continues to hit. Actually, Adames randomly won us this game with the big hit in the top of the 7th. And then they kind of scratched away a couple more runs offensively. And 4 runs is a miracle for this team. So it was nice to see us win this one. Pitching-wise, Landen Roupp goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, commanded this game beautifully. We'll get into Roup's second start against Detroit, but guys, they found something in Roupp. This guy, he's dotting the sinker. He's got one of the better curveballs in the league. He's working the cutter in around 8 to 10%, and out of nowhere, he's throwing this changeup like 20, 25%, really throwing hitters off. He's getting confident with it. He's not forcing it, and man, it's hard to not get excited watching Landen Roupp throw because early in this season, and still very early in the season, we're only a third of the way through the season, he was strictly just throwing sinker curveball, and guys were kind of keying in on that curveball. But if you had a changeup 20% of the time and they can't sit curveball, then watch out. This guy's going to be a star. He already is budding into one. He looks like he has top end of the rotation stuff if he continues to develop. Randy Rodriguez goes an inning, of course, doesn't give up a run. Whenever you hear Randy Rodriguez, you know that this inning's over. Eric Miller goes an inning, doesn't give up a run. And then Doval wasn't a close, but closes this game out. They win that one 4-0. Game 2, Giants get shut out against a shitty right-handed pitcher in Jake Irvin. He came in this outing, I think, in the 4s in the ERA. He goes 8 strong, 96 pitches, just making us look foolish. We had 3 hits offensively, 2 of which were Tyler Fitzgerald bloop singles, and Jung-Hoo Lee popped one, a flare. So offense just didn't show up. Hasn't showed up the entire road trip. Hasn't showed up the entire month of May, if we're all being honest. So kind of more of the same there. Kyle Harrison did get his first start of the season. Do not know if last podcast it was announced that Verlander was going to the IL, but Verlander is on the IL. Kyle Harrison got the start, and Kyle, first inning, battled through some adversity. James Wood hit a 2-run shot, and if you don't know James Wood is arguably one of the best outfielders in the league already in his age 22 or 23 season, I'm not sure, came over in the Juan Soto trade. This guy's a star. Harrison kind of hung one. Wood made a good swing, but after that, Harrison looked good. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned, 4 strikeouts. His velo's back. His swing and miss stuff is clearly there. He needs to work that changeup in a little bit more, but I thought all things considered this start could have gone a lot worse for Kyle. Was happy to see him lock in and kind of grind through a day where he didn't have his best stuff, but it still looked good. Didn't walk a guy through 43 strikes, over 57 pitches. So if Kyle's not walking guys, his stuff's good enough. It's always going to play. So excited to see him back in the rotation. Hopefully he stays here for a little bit. Coming in after Kyle, Tristan Beck got the call up when Verlander hit the IL. Beck went 3 innings in his first outing of the season, 1 earned, struck out 2, and yeah, Beck's looked pretty good. Excited to see him up, getting his opportunity. He's done well in his 2 opportunities this road trip, and then Tyler Rogers comes in, quick inning as usual. Did not matter. Giants lose 3-0. Game 3 of this series, and it's a decent Nationals team, right? But these pitchers, I think it was the 29th ranked ERA in the bullpen. I think it's somewhere in the 5s. It's not a good pitching team. We were just looking like idiots up there. This game, they win 3-2. Sam Huff gets the Giants a spark with a home run in the second. Yaz goes 1 for 4. Lee goes 1 for 4. There's just no multi-hit games to speak of. Chapman gets a hit. Just a weird game, man. Ramos has a sac fly. So they kind of scratched 3 runs somehow. Only 5 hits. 0 for 8 runners in scoring position. Again, not a good offensive game, but it was bailed out by this pitching staff. Robbie Ray once again goes 6 strong, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run. And guys, I'll say it right now. Robbie Ray has entered himself into the NL Cy Young conversation. He's 7-0. The Giants are 10-1 in his starts. The loss was against the Royals, where he went 7 innings of 0 run ball. Robbie Ray, after a kind of not really that slow of a start, but he had a bad start in New York, and he had one other bad one worked in there, I think, against the Reds early on. Besides that, he's been nails. ERA down to 2.56, 69 strikeouts in 63 innings, 1.15 whip. He's keeping guys off base more than he usually does. The strikeout stuff is there. The changeup has been a disgusting pitch. Robbie Ray is a very, very positive development for this Giants team. After Ray exited the game, Randy Rodriguez came in, shut him down, of course. Tyler Rogers came in after that, 10 pitches, 8 strikes. Classic Tyler Rogers. And then Ryan Walker. I was actually tweeted out. I was in the plane going into the bottom of the 8th, and I said I better not land to a disaster, and my phone was blowing up on the plane because you can get those free texts on Southwest, and I saw one for my grandpa or somebody who's like, Ryan Walker should never be the closer again, and so I thought they lost, and I landed, we won 3-2. Ryan Walker squeaked one out for his 10th save of the year, but it was his last save opportunity, as shortly after that game, Camilo Doval was announced as the closer, which is very positive. I'm excited for Camilo. I feel like we talk about Camilo at least once an episode, but again, this is a guy has had some attitude problems, you could say, in his long Giants tenure. Got sent down to AAA, and he could have easily packed it in, asked for a trade, said I'm not going to AAA, but he went down there, worked on holding runners on, worked on his command, ended up getting called back up, and this year 18 or 19 scoreless innings, might be 20, I've lost count, earns his closer role back. So I'm excited to see Camilo accept that challenge. I have no doubts that he will succeed. So the Giants win that series. Didn't really feel like it if you watched any of those games and didn't watch the box scores, because they played horrible in all 3 of those games, but they found ways to win. Pitching was fantastic. The pitching needs to damn near be perfect the way this team is playing right now. So, rolling into Detroit, this team pitches as good or better than the Giants. The Giants avoided a Tariq Skubal start, so thought that was going to be positive for us, but it really doesn't matter who you throw. You could throw your average varsity pitcher against this Giants team right now, and it's probably going to have a decent amount of success. Going into Game 1, Hayden Birdsong start on Memorial Day. Giants lose this one 3-1. Birdsong looked very good early. He goes 4.1 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Kind of unraveled there in the 5th. I thought he looked good. Can't really judge the box score. Kind of another one where he pitched better than it looked. Striking out 6 and 4.1 innings is good. But I'm going to go in the words of Ian Wright here. He needs to do better at just putting guys away. You see him oftentimes get to 0-2 counts, 1-2 counts, and he kind of plays with his food a little bit and gets to 3-2 counts, 8-9 pitch ABs, and that's okay. He can battle through that, but I don't really want him to be a 5 and dash guy. We don't want a guy like Blake Snell. But, I mean, he's still a young guy. He'll figure it out. It was only his second start. I thought all the signs were promising. After that, he left some runners on. Eric Miller couldn't get out of the jam, so it was 2 runs that came in under Birdsong's stat line after Miller came in and walked 2 and gave up a hit. Spencer Bivens comes in after, goes 2 innings, 0 runs. Jordan Hicks actually goes an inning without a run. Don't know if that was the first time this year. Giants lose 3-1, and even with a 3 earned run start from Birdsong, if you're holding teams in the MLB to 3 runs or less, you have to win these games, and the Giants just can't right now. They lose 3-1. They score on a Flores RBI bloop, which, I mean, Flores is unbelievable. 44 RBIs, on pace for like 131 or something like that. It's insane. Somebody else needs to step up besides that, though, because this is just bad. They're not even striking out that much. It's just, it's hard to watch. It's hard to even talk about. Going into game 2, you'd hope this team would bounce back. We had a Logan Webb start. Webb gets touched up early, gives up a run in one run in the first 3 innings, like consecutively. He goes 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, strikes out 10. It's really cool seeing Webb get this strikeout stuff, but it's not hurting him, but his pitch count's getting a little higher. He's not going as deep into games. I know it sounds weird to complain about him going for 6 innings of 3-run ball, because that's honestly a fine start for any competent offense, but it's not for the Giants. And I hate to be like, oh, these pitchers need to be perfect guy, but I mean, they need to go out there and try to be perfect, because this offense puts up 1 run again this game. Adames gets 2 hits. Flores gets 1. Spoiler alert, Flores got our RBI again in the top of the 9th. We were about to get shut out. It was like the Chris Paul hits a 3 to cut the lead to 30. Giants lose this one 3-1. We're never in this game whatsoever. Just outclassed by this Tigers team. Game 3, the bats showed up early. It was nice to see Ramos hit one way out of here in the top of the 5th, sorry. I mean, these games move so quick nowadays. Ramos looked great. Chapman, 3 for 4. Nice to see him have a good offensive game. OPS up to 750. Giants hit fine this game. 3 runs on 10 hits is hard to do. Runners in scoring position, 1 for 9. Have to be better there, but they had their opportunities. The ABs looked better. Wade had 2 hits and an RBI. It was a big shock. I mean, I got out of my seat when he made contact. And Landen Roupp got the start. Really weird start here, guys. Roupp goes 4 innings, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. And if you weren't watching this game, he was cruising through these first 3-4 innings. Got to the 5th inning, Chapman made an error, and it completely unraveled. He walked a couple, got pulled. Randy Rodriguez came in. Randy struck out the first 2 with the bases loaded, and then had another guy 0-2 center cut fastball. He almost escaped out of the jam. Ended up leaving that inning down 4-3. Giants, of course, couldn't come back after that. And you have to be able to get a run after the 5th inning. They went 6, 7, 8, 9. No rallies, no anything. Actually, there was a rally. We'll get into it, but you got to be better there. Going to the 8th inning, we'll break down this 8th inning for you. I think maybe the worst inning of baseball offensively the Giants will play this season, potentially. So they go to start it off. Play was stopped because a grounds crew member looked like he tore his ACL or something, and then out of nowhere he flips off the camera, and I turned to my dad. I was like, this is the last thing I need to see right now. I'm sitting in my seat. I had palms up in my head. It was just a hellish scene down in Alamo, California. And then to start this one off, randomly Willy Adames gets on base by a catcher's interference. Wade bloops one to left. Extends, great base running by Adames to get to third. Wade gets to second, which was awesome. So second and third, down 1, 0 outs. They pinch hit Patrick Bailey. Up there, first pitch swinging, 72 miles an hour. To left field, was not deep enough. Christian Koss comes up, tries to bunt twice, looks terrible, strikes out at a ball that might have hit the grass, and then Yaz grounds out to the first baseman. That was a gut-wrenching inning because you have to avoid a sweep. I mean, good teams don't get swept. This team's gotten swept twice now, I believe. So Giants couldn't get out of Detroit fast enough. Just a horrible series of baseball, guys. I mean, they scored 4 runs this series. They scored 5 runs this series, 3 runs in the last series. I mean, there's you just need to be able to score 5 runs a game to have a chance. If this offense was 15th to 18th best in the league, they'd be maybe top of the NL West the way this team's pitching. So it's really not on the pitchers. Randy Rodriguez is incredible. Camilo Doval is incredible. I could go down the list. Everybody's been damn near perfect on this road trip, and they're not doing good as a team. So offense needs to wake up and wake up quick. Gonna get into some hot takes into our overreaction off day segment. If you do want to be featured on this, check on on the Twitter or on the Instagram every time before we film these episodes. Posted it this morning. So we're going to start with Bay Area Bry, a great guy in a group chat with him. He's on the come up, so go follow him at Bay Area Bry. He said the Giants need to find their franchise catcher this deadline. Good catchers don't hit the open market, and Bailey is not a long-term answer. He's a high-tier backup at best, and a team 2 back from the Dodgers can't go into the second half with such a clear hole on the roster who has experienced significant hitting dips in the second half every year he's played. I'm going to start with the second half because I agree that Bailey's bat has been bad, and completely agree that last year, I don't know what he was around the All-Star break, but it was somewhere high 200s. He was hitting 300 for a decent bit. Like, he's been a good hitter. I think he hit 4 or 5 early last year. And as Brian said, it's always a significant decline in the second half. And I don't have Bailey's stats handy right now. I'll pull them up right now. Give me a sec. He is hitting 174 with a shocking 489 OPS. So if he declines in the second half, I don't even know how the hell that's possible, Brian. But I agree with you. If he declines, then we need to start looking at some other options. I think they need to draft one pretty early this year. You can work catchers through the minors decently quick. But, I mean, Bailey's defense is great. I hate to be that guy. His framing's good. He throws out a lot of runners, but you can't justify a guy hitting 170 with a 489 OPS. I mean, you can be like Kyle Schwarber and hit 190 with 35 bombs. Bailey has one Mickey Mouse home run. He barely hits doubles. Like, it is very tough to watch him take ABs. So I don't really know what they do there. I don't think they move off him this season or this offseason. But there's definitely probably some conversations going on in this front office about what to do, because it is shocking. We knew he was not a good hitter, but you got to be able to hit 200 to 210. Got our next one, Eric at Their W Bourbon. He's a good guy. Go follow him. Comments on a lot of our stuff. He's got a couple hot takes and overreactions here. He says Randy Rodriguez should be given the chance to close. I'll start there. Love Randy. I don't know that he's quite ready for that role. We'll see how Doval does. It helps that Doval has had experience in that role before, and I do think that played into the decision. And it is cool. I think it means a lot to Melvin and this team to have a guy. I think Randy might be the best reliever on this team that they can plug and play into any sort of situation. He can come in the 5th in a jam, the 6th in the jam. He can go 2 innings like we saw. So Rodriguez has a decent bit of versatility that you don't need to handcuff him into a closing role. So it's nice to see him bounce around, but I would not be surprised if Randy closes at some point this season. Eric also says Walker does not belong in the 8th inning. I kind of agree there. I'm not ready to completely demote Walker. He's looked bad this year, but you got to remember just how good he looked last year. He looked like a top 5 closer in the league, so hopefully he can work through this funk. Eric also says, as much as I love the vibe, so far the Giants paid $180 million for a number 6 hitter. I don't know if you saw the Posey comment today. I think it's a sign of a strong leader. Posey said, I think it was on KNBR. I think it might have been Murph and Marcus. They asked him kind of what he reads into the Adames slow start, and he said coming to a new team is pretty hard. He also said Willie's a dude and give him some time. I'm with Posey. Signed him to a 7-year deal. It's not even a crazy contract. I know it sounds crazy just because it's the highest contract in Giants history. But, I mean, $182 million over 7 years is not cheap, but it's not super expensive for a high-end shortstop. You can look at the Bogarts contract, the Francisco Lindor contract. So I think you can give Adames some time. His vibe's been great. I think that does mean something. But it's no secret he needs to wake up and play better offensively if this team has a chance. Because if Adames hits 200 this year with 12 bombs, this team's not going anywhere. We got another one. We got a lot, sorry. This guy said we overpaid Adames. I don't think we overpaid him at all. That was the contract he was going to get, whether it be here or anywhere else. So, I mean, you can not like the player, but it's not an overpay at all if you look at the market value. Jason at Triple Crown JMO said there seems to be an organizational flaw to develop offensive talent for the last 8 to 10 years, and it's not getting better soon. And it is a grim way to look at it. But you look at a guy like Ramos. Ramos is homegrown. Took him a little bit longer to develop. Ramos is here to stay. He's our best player, as Dave Fleming said yesterday, and I couldn't agree more. But I do see where you could say this. Yeah, offensively, it's just been not good here for a very long stretch of time. Hopefully, Eldridge changes that. But you look at guys like Luciano, hasn't quite figured it out at the big league level. Patrick Bailey looks bad. Luis Matos, still very young. Hard to judge because he's gotten such limited opportunities, but doesn't look good. And just countless other guys haven't quite panned out at the big league level. So I wonder what they do there. I'm no scout, but they do need to develop offense in-house a lot better if they want to be a contender for a long time, because it's going to be hard to recruit hitters if you see guys like Adames and Chapman not hitting at Oracle. Got another one. This guy said Bart is greater than Bailey. I mean, I really do understand the discourse about the Joey Bart versus Patrick Bailey conversation. I've tweeted about it a couple times, but if you watch Joey Bart play as a Giant, I do think they moved off him a little bit too quick, but he was very bad behind the plate, wasn't good offensively, didn't really seem like he was gelling with the guys here, so hindsight's 2020 always. Would still like to have Bart, but there's nothing we can do about it now. Waffles says, for anybody wanting major changes, listen to Buster Posey's KNBR interview. There might be something with Wade, but you're looking at internal fixes. He is not overreacting or desperate, and he shouldn't be. And I really do agree, because we're 54 games in, which is about a third of the way through the season. They aren't going to go out and sabotage the farm to go try and do something. And I honestly... it's not close to the trade deadline, but I'd be pretty surprised if they went out and just got really aggressive at the deadline. There's a long time to go. I don't know that this team's going to be super in contention by then, unfortunately. But we'll see. Hot take from Kevin at PrimeGev2330. Hot take, Gerard Encarnacion makes his season debut in Miami tomorrow. He hits 2 home runs, and in a 3-game series in Miami, the team he was a top prospect for. I love Gerard. He's not going to be back for the Miami series. He'll be back on this homestand, hopefully. I think he had a little bit of a setback. If you did see, he went yard opposite field, 400 in his River Cats game last night or the night before. Big Gerard guy. I think he can be a very good player in this league. I see flashes of Marcell Ozuna if he does reach his potential with the exit velos, the opposite field juice. But Gerard Encarnacion is not going to magically turn around this offense. It's a nice boost. It'll be a nice boost against lefties. I think he should play nearly every day. But, I mean, you can't rely on a guy like that, a guy who hasn't had much big league success, a guy who was playing in Mexico a year ago, to turn around an MLB offense. If we're going to turn this offense around, we need our high-priced guys like Matt Chapman and Willy Adames to start heating up, because that's what this team's built around. But I'm very excited for Gerard, excited to see what he can add to this team. Sebastian says there needs to be some major roster changes, especially in the coaching and the hitting coach. They have a new solution at first base. As much as I hope for Encarnacion, I don't think he's the savior. Plus a better option at second base and catcher. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of Pat Burrell comments in my comment section. Fire Pat Burrell. I urge you guys to not quite go there, just because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and there's honestly not that much hitting talent here. There's only so much a hitting coach can do. It's a very streaky sport. It's a weird sport. He's not up there hitting for the guys, so eventually it has to be on the guys to hit. In terms of an upgrade at second base and catcher, already talked about the catcher ones. We'll talk about second base. Tyler Fitzgerald, he's getting a lot of stuff done well for this team. But if you take a look at his baseball savant, I'll pull it up for you guys here. His underlying metrics are horrible, guys. And it's a little bit scary if you check this out, because if you just read the box score, he's hitting 261 this year, okay, 703 OPS. His extra base hits have completely disappeared. He hit 15 home runs last year, which was great. So you kind of expected coming in this year you might be able to pop 20 out. Right now it's not looking like he'll get 10. His expected batting average is 266, which is 4th percentile. His average exit velocity is 82.6, which is the 1st percentile. Hard hit percentage, 5th percentile. Whiff percentage, 16th percentile. The only thing above average is his sprint speed, which is 96th percentile. But I'm going to go for the hottest take. You guys might disagree with this one. I think his sprint speed's a myth. because it works on the base paths, don't get me wrong, on gapped balls, but he's got like 6 or 7 steals with 96th percentile sprint speed. Like, that is not good. He should have 10, 15 steals, put some pressure on the defense, and they kind of get worried about him on the bases, but he's not even like a crazy steal threat. So I don't know how you're not a good steal threat with 96th percentile speed, but I mean, Tyler Fitzgerald is going to need to clean this up because in my opinion, Tyler Fitzgerald is not the reason you don't try and go and get a big bat at second base. I don't know who's out there. I'd have to do some more research, but I don't know, man. His underlying metrics are bad. He was due for a regression, and it's starting to look like that's happening now. I got a couple more on Twitter, then we'll go over to Instagram. BL says DFA Wade ASAP. There's a bunch of him he put here, but I'll start with the DFA Wade ASAP. I put it out there. There's no reason Lamont Wade Jr. should be starting on this team right now. I hope I eat my words. I hope I look like an idiot in August, but the guy's hitting 170 with below average defense at first base, which is not a hard place to defend. Horrible speed. No extra base hits, and just no signs of it turning around. If you saw my post on Instagram, I think I posted it on X as well, the underlying metrics are bad. There's nothing that says, like, oh, this guy's going to turn it around quick. So, especially considering he's on the back end of his career. You got Eldridge coming up soon, so I do understand why they're just going to write him out for a year, but I'd rather see what they have in Casey Schmidt, Herrera Encarnacion. Another one of note on the first base conversation. Last night, Marco Luciano played his first ever game as a professional at first base, so seemed like a little bit of a desperation play. I am still very high on Luciano. I've said it since spring training. If you've listened to me, his ABs look better, his approach looks better. The results haven't quite been there yet. Hitting like 230, but he's walking a lot, up to 9 home runs in AAA. So I'm happy to see him working around at first. I'd like to see him work back in at second. But it's nice that he's kind of got some defensive versatility now because this team might need some juice here soon. And if we could somehow get a Ramos 2.0 as a late bloomer with Luciano, that would be incredible, especially with everything he's been through. Last one on Twitter, Brian says the Giants should eliminate the DH and allow the pitchers to hit. Man, I love this. Logan Webb could probably hit a lot better than some of these fools that we're trotting out there on a daily basis. I'd love to know what Mad Bum's doing right now. Mad Bum would be one of our better hitters, but I love that comment, Brian, kind of lighthearted. Going over to Instagram. Hope you guys are enjoying these little overreaction off days. We're going to start doing them more. If you do enjoy them, drop a comment for me. Drop your comments over here on YouTube for if you want to see some more of this. Give me a sec. Pulling it up right now. We have at Jack Murphy 45. Great kid. Been a big supporter of the pod. Good buddy. Appreciate you tuning in as always. He says, is it time to start looking for trade options for late night Lamont? Murph, if we could trade late night Lamont for $20, I would be in tomorrow because I don't know who the hell wants this guy. If you DFA him, somebody will pick him up, but if they trade him, bro, we're not getting anything back. Hopefully we get like a bag of chips and some free tickets. MTM306 said, did VR get DFA'd? Yep, David VR got DFA'd, cleared waivers, elected free agency, and got signed by the Mets on a minor league deal. So, I mean, he spent his whole pro career as a Giant, so appreciate David for everything he's given to the organization. Just didn't quite work out here. Hopefully he does great with the Mets because seems like a great dude. Has meant a lot to this organization for sure. Aiden.Antar says, hitting is very concerning. Get bats at the deadline and fire the hitting coach. Yeah, I've already talked about the Pat Burrell thing. You never really know what's going on behind closed doors. I do think they need some bats at the deadline, but I've seen Jeff Young talk about it. I've seen a couple more guys who are more in tap with the organization said like a lot of these changes are going to have to be internal because you can't have guys like Matos hitting 150. This bench is really bad. Wade can't hit 160. Bailey can't hit 170. So there's only so much that you can do externally in the organization. If you see some internal improvements, that could go a long way. But one big time bat would be awesome. Jake Mitchell 1159 says Adames breaks out in Miami with 3 home runs on the series. Jake, I hope so, man, because Adames, that's my problem with Adames is he's not a high average hitter. He never has been. He strikes out a lot, but he's always hit a shit ton of extra base hits. He hit 32 home runs last year. He's clearly not going to hit that this year. Still pretty early, but if Adames hits 220 with 23 to 26 home runs. You can work with that because that's some run production, probably around 80 RBIs. It's not a good year, but I mean, it's possible he's just having a down year. But if he breaks out 3 home runs, I just want to see this guy playing with some confidence because he's a great dude. He says he's not pressing. He's got to be pressing a little bit. So hopefully you're right, Jake. Really hope so. Reggiamo before the Lobos said, how should the Giants prepare for the Padres series? I mean, the Padres are a good team. The Padres are also playing some really bad baseball right now. If you've been staying in touch, they are having worse offensive struggles than the Giants. They went on a 6-game losing streak. They can't, I think their offense is graded even worse than ours. They have Tatis as just a whining little maniac. Frickin' Gavin Sheets, Derry Bonds. I didn't come up with that. Shout out the DSG. I mean, everybody's just taken the DSG's nicknames. So they have Derry Bonds, Gavin Sheets is just hitting like a maniac. But the Padres, I mean, we're at home. They kind of took it to us in San Diego. It'd be great. It's a 4-game series. Take 3 of those games. But this team needs to start showing up against good competition because they really haven't this year. But not really sure how they prepare. I'm not a coach. DJ Ortega 1. Who's a player you think we should trade for at the deadline? I'd have to do some more research on this. I'll definitely do a longer episode near the deadline. It's going to be random. Everybody wants a bat, but my dream target is Framber Valdez, the left-handed pitcher on the Houston Astros. He's going into he's going to hit free agency this year, so we could get him in free agency as well. But I think he's going to be cheaper. He's a left-handed arm with ground ball. He gets as many ground balls as Logan Webb. And can you just envision this rotation for me really quick in 2026? Logan Webb at the top, Framber Valdez, Robbie Ray, Hayden Birdsong, Landen Roupp, or Kyle Harrison. And you still have Wisenhunt in the minors. Framber would probably take Wisenhunt or a top prospect, which, I mean, honestly, we have one too many top pitching prospects. So if you have a 3-headed monster of Valdez, Webb, and Ray Roupp could be a star, Birdsong could be a star, Harrison's a fucking dude. Apologize for the language. I mean, this could be fun, man. But that's my kind of guy that I've been targeting for a while. Would love to see us go after him in free agency, but I'll definitely have a more in-depth one for trade targets near the trade deadline for some bats because I haven't really done any research there, but I'd definitely look for a first baseman, DH. Kyle Stowers in the outfield would be nice if you could get Luis Robert Jr. from the White Sox potentially, but definitely we'll go more in-depth near the trade deadline. I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. It was definitely a fun episode. If you did enjoy it, please drop a comment, like the video, make sure to subscribe. Stay tuned. We'll be dropping podcasts every Monday and every off day, so it should be twice a week for you guys here now. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll catch you next time.